Today we're going to talk about The Great Gatsby and how it's about love and empathy. Ain't got no time for you, baby. Either you're mine or you're not. Ain't got no time for you, baby. Right here and now's all we got. She ba ba ba. So, in my Devilman video, I made the claim that The Great Gatsby is about love and empathy. Just like Devilman. And no one pushed back. So I'm going to pretend they did. So the traditional thoughts about The Great Gatsby is all about the American dream, and the foul, warped sense of what the American dream has turned into. If you look at The Great Gatsby through a lens of empathy, you'll see a lot that's missing. First, they'll highlight that no one really cared about the poor, even though Gatsby was once poor himself and worked his way up and earned all of his money. They earned it through something that was illegal. They were moonshiners, selling alcohol over the drugstore counter during the Prohibition. And Gatsby does seem very generous in his actions, in that he opens up the parties in his house to everyone as huge spectacle. But no one goes to his funeral. He doesn't make anyone's life better. He's a very selfish person, but selfish in the sense of he has this one hopeful goal to rewrite the past and his love life.
My life has got to be like this.
And our narrator, Nick Carraway, makes a little bit of mention of this and of the great depravity that comes with wealth in America. Nick Carraway extends these thoughts to Gatsby. How Gatsby's life is lost and ruined because of Tom Buchanan and Daisy Buchanan mucking up their lives and not caring about other people. In the end of the book, everything is ruined because of Daisy and Tom, and they retreat into their money where they don't have to care. This theme also extends to oil and its movie adaptation, There Will Be Blood, where the main character wants to get rich so he doesn't have to care or hear about people ever again. Tom and Daisy Buchanan are the leisurely wealthy. They got their money the old-fashioned way from their parents, and they're just kind of coasting off that and what they own, and they think that they're better than other people because of it. And they kind of have to. Otherwise, it would tear you apart inside, and you'd go around all the time trying to make the world a better place. So it's just easier to be selfish. It's easier. The movie does do a pretty good job of showing white and black people in the dredges, as the book would, even though none of the black people in the dredges are the main characters, and all of our main cast is still white. Tom Buchanan references a racist, fascist theory that is still referenced today by fascists. But white people running amok in this world that's full of people struggling and pain and about to fall into a Great Depression? There's no lack of irony anywhere. The book and movies do something extraordinary in the sense that they're about Gatsby, but they're being told through the main character of Carraway. Nick, in this story, is the lens for the audience, but also there's this little thing in media, and most powerfully in video games, where the actions of the protagonist are always justified because it's the viewpoint of the audience. So the audience never feels like, oh, they shouldn't be doing that, because they feel like it's justified because they're all from the perspective of the person that sees this as a fine and okay thing to do. But what it does is it makes you feel for Gatsby as the main character. You are going through a simulation of empathy in the story. You meet this man, you see that he makes a pretty great party, he's a little mysterious, he takes a special interest in you, so you take an interest in them. And you're not up to nothing much, but they built their way up a long time ago and worked very hard to get where they were. They're a war hero, they're a veteran, they have connections in town, they take you out for lunch, they throw fantastic parties, They get along really well with your cousin. And in the end, you side with this man over family and blood because you've seen it the whole way. The Great Gatsby is about empathizing with Gatsby, another person. But we're also empathizing with Nick because we see ourselves as Nick Carraway, with the, of course, exception of the non-white audience that might not always see themselves in the shoes of these white rich protagonists. Nick is well off. There's several illustrations of this in the beginning of the story where he buys entire volumes about stock and economy and trading to start off his new summer job of trading bonds. That's gotta be like a $100, $1,000 purchase. Several books. Like, even today, that would be at least $200, and not everyone can get a job started by investing $200 in a thing they kind of don't need. The movie especially shows off how well off Nick is. One, Daisy's his cousin, even though the family in the novel you learn doesn't have so much money and they need the Buchanan money to keep going, but he's still well off enough where he can pretty much live in New York in an expensive neighborhood for a summer while he doesn't make money trading stocks. He could just be there writing a book. These are the kind of people that write books. The kind of people that have enough money to keep going, but also have the spare time to write. It's amazing. But he gives it up for money. Through the end of the book, Nick Carraway learns that money isn't everything. He learns that people with rich money, their lives, their hearts are destroyed as people. And they trample and trifle with the lives of others, like Gatsby, like their servants, like the repairman and his wife, Myrtle. The Great Gatsby taught me that I'm one of those fanboys that just love things as long as you get like 3 key details right. Leonardo DiCaprio is a perfect Gatsby.
I'm Gatsby.
The guy that plays Tom Cannon is big and threatening and perfect. And
Mr. Gatsby, I'd like to know.
Exactly who are you, anyhow?
Nothing else. I didn't care about anything else. Those were the 2 things, and it was great. I loved it. We need to learn to be able to see everyone as clearly and empathetically as we see Gatsby. Everyone has the dream that seems impossible that they're working for, just like Gatsby. And everyone deserves some time and attention and friendship and love, just like Gatsby did. Because they all exercise that same hope that we do as Americans, and as people that live in the world, and as people that strive forward. So, here's to you.
His smile was one of those rare smiles that you may come across 4 or 5 times in life. It seemed to understand you and believe in you, just as you would like to be understood and believed in.
God, his face is just so perfect. His face is perfect.